working on your blood clotting cascade. That's really the only difference between that and regular gauze is there's something added to it, right? The techniques for doing it, the purpose of doing all of it is the same, okay?
Oh, go for it. You got it.
So the first thing with any of these is we're always trying to pack. Oh, fancy. We're always trying to pack towards the heart, right? How arteries work, we understand this. They're pumping blood out to the rest of the body. So that is where our biggest problem is, and we're trying to obviously pack enough in there to be able to apply some constriction, cover that entire open area right there, and then whatever's left over, putting on top, adding direct pressure, wrapping up nicely, and that way everything is sealed, locked in, pressing up against those arteries. First thing I like to do, once I open it up, right, however my method is, one thing I like to do is I like to keep it in the package, and I'll just grab from the top. The first thing to do is make some kind of ball, right, whether you tie it or you just kind of bunch up a nice ball. Two methods of doing it, and you'll learn pretty quickly with forearm strength which one you like, whether you're pushing forward or kind of crawling or raking it backwards or whatever. That's the one I like to do. But some guys have gone in a little bit on that wound. They find where that artery is coming from. I'll take that ball, I'll push it up in there. Again, here's my artery going towards the heart, right? And then I keep a finger in there to always keep this compressed, and I just add it as a guide. So you see mine's just coming out like this. The Z-fold is super nice for that, and I'm just continuously taking what I stuffed in there and I'm pushing it backwards to fill that entire space, okay? So
one hand is feeding
exactly, right. And it could be, I like doing it with the index. Some people keep it with their thumb. This is the time for you guys to figure out what you like, okay? But I'm trying to fill up as much of this cavity as I can, okay? This is that first method. It's a lot easier on the forearms, being able to push backwards. What'd you call it? The rake? Raking it back, clawing it back,
clawing it back,
versus going on the other side like this and having to constantly push forward or pushing in like that, where now the top of my forearm is getting affected. Because you'll see in these props, these aren't massive injuries, but they take a lot of this product to get in there to truly seal it. But again, if you do it this way, to each his own, just have some kind of system to be able to constantly guide that finger and pack in as much as you can, okay? Once it's done, let's say I've got, let's say I'm done with all of this, right? I've completely packed this. If there's another injury next to it that can utilize a little bit of this, maybe I'll stuff it in there and just save product and then wrap it all together. Or if this is it, I'm gonna bunch it up into a ball. I'll lay it right on top, keep that pressure going, and this is where I'll wrap with some kind of bandage or whatever else I got to keep it all locked in together.
What's the golden number that, I just gave you the answer. What's the golden number that you should hold pressure on that while it's controlling bleeding? 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes. So we have 3 minutes to spare when we're doing March because we got to move on, right? That's where that Israeli will really come in handy. Like, hey, that's going to hold pressure for 3 minutes while I continue the rest of my March. And then come back to it and make sure it's controlled, okay? And then the reason, again, you're gonna have both opportunities to try, whether it's the claw or the whatever you want to call it. See what works best for you. Okay. People have said that coming from in front of the patient up, your forearms are going to burn. Okay. But if you claw, it becomes a lot easier to really maneuver it. And also clawing it gives me a chance to do this. I'm gonna walk over to this casualty real quick. I'm gonna commandeer your spot real quick, just for a quick second, sir. I know I'm bleeding, right? So this is my casualty. So if I've got a GSW here that I want to control, right? You could do one of these, or the benefit of going behind it to where I need to control that wound packing is I'm clawing it, but also now I've got control of the casualty. So if he's trying to, because they're not going to let you do this, they're conscious. They're going to fight you, okay? And this is not a moment like, hey, ketamine. No, you're not going to do that. I need to stop the bleed. So if he starts fighting me, I've got control with my body. And I can just pack all day long, okay? The little claw technique. Cool?
One other thing not to forget, remember anything with bleeding control, start with